This season infantry players did so good, and everything is thanks to the pets. From the first time infantry players were dropping like 70, 100 merits report, 50k merits report, proving pets changed the balance. Let's cover the pet synergy, report value, investment, and class balances in Call of Dragons. And no joke, this is something that I really noticed. I start seeing some crazy reports. I'm not talking about the rallies, okay? People rally some castle or rally some gate or bastion or whatever, where obviously the main troop there is going to be infantry. But I'm talking about just open field fights. And with this blink tactic that more and more become popular in Call of Dragons, especially for the infantry, everything become absolutely wild on the battlefield, especially with the new hero also presented, but also is all about the pets. So I'm going to talk about the pet synergy first, and the new pets boost infantry sustainability. And obviously it's coming a question in my mind, which pet is best for my infantry? And right now I don't have it. I don't have this pet. I have some Brune Bear that I still use. This is my bad boy. I actually catch him like this with the strange like this and 2-star of this. I think back in the days the pet chance to get the good pet was way more bigger from what is today. But I'm talking about one of the new pets that I think the majority of the people don't look very closely. I mean, this is just for infantry. I'm going to say a couple words about the Mosrok Auroch. And this bad boy is giving stamina and also damage, which is absolutely crazy. For the next 3 seconds, the Legion infantry units get some percentage HP, which can go to 10% and deals physical skill damage twice to the enemy legions that deals damage to them. Something like a counter attack or something like this, but here is the skill damage factor. And I have some reports where the Mosrok Auroch actually outperform Moonbear by a lot. And this bad boy was only 2 stars on the coil. Now imagine this bad boy when he become a 3-star. So you see we have damage, which is going to boost the reports, and in the same time we're having sustainability. So infantry actually start becoming something that people start wishing they want to be. In the season 1 everybody was looking to be a mage. Later, after 1 year and something, people start to want to be a cavalry main. Right now I start seeing more and more people talking about become infantry main, which is a very interesting rotation of the troops and how desired is these troops. Obviously if you're a WoW spender or you're free to play, and for like 2 years you invest only in mages, it's not going to happen that easy. You switch to infantry or you switch to cavalry, obviously, and actually get some crazy reports. But for mid spenders, whales and krakens, it's way more easy to switch the troops. Obviously their main troop everything, but I start seeing people see the infantry more and more desirable. And yeah, right now with this new pet for the infantry, things become absolutely wild. And here more HP bonus. This is just sustainability of your legion, and at the same time you get in extra some extra damage. And honestly, if you're hitting like maybe 60-90k infantry reports, first of all, you're bringing the most important troop on the battlefield, which is basically the infantry. Now people may not like it, but infantry mains is the MVP on the battlefield, or krakens who actually decide to send infantry on the battlefield. Still maybe some mid spenders or WoW spenders who have builded Goris Kogel is also MVP, but at the end of the day it's infantry who is actually winning the fights there. And if you get some crazy reports like 60, 70, 80, 90k from your infantry, you're going to start using your infantry more and more. And I think the game is going in this direction, especially with the new hero Kuma, that is draining the HP over the legions around him. I think with this bad boy I get question which hero is best to pair Kuma, because Kuma is from the wiki spin, we have to mention that. So it's achievable for free to play to Krakens, and Kuma is better with all of the heroes. Now I suggest maybe Goresh and Lee Kuan. This is the new hero, Lee Kuan and Goresh. I think Kuma is going to work perfectly with these heroes, but if you just want to get merits, definitely Kuma is one of the heroes that you want to use. But here is not actually, we're talking about that specific for this specific hero or etc. Here I'm just talking about that the infantry reports, merits reports become bigger and bigger in Call of Dragons. And I actually analyzed some of my walks. I didn't actually have that many walks, to be honest. Where is my farm? I have to find my farm, but mostly it was actually a mages report. But still, even from mage reports, you can gather some good information, or having a good feeling the power of infantry. Where is my farm? Oh my god, cannot find my farm. Okay, this is my farm. Yeah, I get some, for example, this one. Okay, this one is, yeah, it's more like mage related reports and etc. This is all the reports. I mean, I don't, you know, just get the best reports. I just send to my farm my reports, and I analyze the reports. And so far what I notice is the infantry, when I hit the infantry, is like 3-1, and the infantry is not touching me. But what I mean by 3-1 is 1.5k I do, and I get like 1,500 I do as a damage for the severely wounded. Maybe I should open one report. Oh my god, it's loading. But yeah, I do 1.5k and I get 500 returned as a damage back. The counter attack of the infantry does so much, reducing the damage that we infantry are receiving in form of Ironclad. I think the majority of the people are familiar with this thing, but Ironclad is like 50% chance to get one stack. That is reducing the range damage by 5%. 8 stacks is maximum, which means like 40% is reducing the damage. And if you have somebody like Kuma and you do a blink, he's going to be 110%, 150% drained the HP of the enemy. He's not doing damage, this bad boy, but yeah, still. And on top of that, when you have this sustainability and you have the pet like Moss Roach, it's just making your team unkillable. I remember when I fight on the battlefield and I see some legion don't die for a long time, first thing that was popping up in my mind is maybe this legion is having Frost Ring. Because we know, when you zoom out and you fight, you cannot see is this legion have a Frost Ring or not. But when I zoom in, this legion is not having Frost Ring, but it's Kuma there. So the new heroes, the new pets that actually increase the sustainability of your heroes is just something that is a game changer, and start bringing some crazy reports for the infantry. Now let's talk little about the investment priority. 2-star skills already shift outcome, and that's true. With the new pet, that is absolutely true. The Moss Roach, even with 2 stars, is outperforming the Moon Bear. Now some people are going to say this is not true, but this is the report I see with Moss Roach, our Roach. It's just, I'm not saying Brown Bear is far behind. Now I already point to my Brown Bear, but this bad boy is it's not relevant anymore. My poor Broom Bear is not relevant anymore, and Moss Roach is the pet that I think people start using not only for one legion. This is Kuma Lee Kuan, basically the new infantry, but I see Moss Roach to be also used with Goresh and Skogul. Majority of the time you're going to see Venom Lizard there, okay, so because people already have builded the what was the name, the Venom Lizard, they already have this pet, build it, skill it, etc. So it's little hard for players who, you know, is not Krakens to actually invest in new pets and put a couple of these pets. It's something like a Sand Lizard. You're going to start you see people who is using like 2 or maybe 3 Sand Lizards in their marches. I think is something like this is also happening with the infantry legions with this pet. It's just crazy how good this pet is, no joke. And if this pet can shift the outcome, imagine if this pet become a 3-star. It's just crazy. Now let's talk about also the class balance. Infantry finally compete with calves and archers, and I can say even with mages, because when you catch with the blink infantry big chunk of mages, those mages are not going to get merits, and your infantry, because they immediately start hitting your infantry. First of all, they're getting like over 100% counter attack because they're in the melee range. They're trying to escape the infantry. And second, the sustainability of the infantry is crazy. So they're going to even be more hard for them to break to infantry. So I want to show you the HP of one tier 5 Vestal. It's like 192. The HP of one tier 5 swordsman or infantry, 269. Here is the defense. Look at the mage defense. Now mages have big defense against other mages, but the physical damage is very, very low. So this make very squishy the mages, which is normal. They're hitting from very far, but there is just so many mechanics in Call of Dragons where you can catch the mages and do crazy damage on them. So it's becoming more and more hard to be mage main, especially how long it takes to get some merits, even from point of damage. Look at the cavalry. That is actually second after the marksman by damage in Call of Dragons. It's like 439. On third place is mages, which is having something like 292. Even if I pick the Celestials, which majority of the people are going to say, yeah, I'm using Celestials for my mages, that's correct, that's a good choice, still is very far away from like 100 from the cavalry, which is absolutely crazy. So yeah, definitely infantry are start getting competing with the other classes, but not all of the infantry. I have to mention that. I mean, you cannot go with Garwood and Ilyana and expect some crazy results. Mostly it's going to be Goresh, Kuma, Lee Kuan, Skogo. This type of heroes really start competing with the mage heroes, archers, and cavalry one. Should you reconsider your main troop? This is a question that I get a lot. Well, the short answer is it depends what kind of spender you are, but if you are free to play and you invest in your mages for like past 2 years, better stick with the mages. Mages are still very nice troop on the battlefield, but yeah, if you can build for free to play, most likely you're not going to be able to build Awakened Goresh Kogo Legion or Goresh Kuma. I'm currently planning to go with Goresh Kuma. I think this is going to be extremely nice combo. My Goresh is close to good builded, to be honest. I still need like 2 points here and he's ready to go. And Kuma, yeah, this is going to be my blink infantry. Goresh, absolutely crazy. Physical damage taken reduction 15%, and on top of that is increasing the attack bonus. If I awake him, it's going to be like 20%, but most likely I'm not going to awake him. If I put some stars on this bad boy, it's just going to get even better, because attack resistance, just 5-star, is just going to give very nice boost for my Goresh and Kuma Legion. And this is something that I plan to do with this Legion. And I think I'm going to get some very nice reports, and I'm going to help my alliance. Blink Infantry becomes something extremely important in Call of Dragons. There is strategy, there is a separate Discord groups where the Blink Infantry communicate between themselves and things like this, just to catch big chunk of enemy mage and marksmen, because the DPSs of the enemies mages and marksmen. But yeah, I think infantry players are start getting very nice merits. Is no longer like I'm infantry main and I have 2 million merits. You're going to start see some crazy results, and it's more honorable, more honorable position you can take just bringing infantry on the battlefield, because the majority of the people are not doing that. and this deserve respect in my opinion. So yeah, this will be for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. If you do, hit one like, subscribe, and see you in the next video.